Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to Lineup Predictions here on the Magpie Channel TV for Newcastle United's game tomorrow at home, St James's Park, 3 o'clock kickoff against Burnley, our relegation rivals. Burnley sitting, where are they in the league? 18th, I think they are, just above us. Yeah, 18th. Norwich in 19th and us in 20th. Norwich will probably be going into this game. Norwich, sorry, that was Tuesday. Still didn't get a win there, no. So Burnley will probably be going into this game as favourites, as we're the only one without a loss in all of England, without a win, sorry. I'm too tired with this shit, man. It was frustrating, that game against Norwich on Tuesday. Fucking Kieran Clark, man, we had a decent game and all, like, I feel like for most of that game, it didn't seem like we were down a man. Like, I was thinking in the second half, around about 70 minutes, maybe earlier, like, this has been oddly comfortable. I forgot Kieran Clark was sent off. It was like that long ago. I was thinking, like, we're not doing too badly. Like, you couldn't tell it was 11 against 10. I thought we organised ourselves very, very well. And we could have even had the win. I think the way we organised ourselves afterwards, Federico Fernandez coming on, of course, was really, really good work by Eddie Howe and the lads. Like, and just up until the end, like, I just think like the legs were a little bit overstretched towards the end. I think when Sir Maximin went off as well, I think we lost a little bit of pace and energy. I think if we were going to get a winner, it would have come from Sir Maximin and Callum Wilson. I think just towards the last 10, 15 minutes, 20 maybe, I think you could tell that our 10 legs against 11 legs, pairs of, they were just getting overstretched, and I just think there was just fatigue. Like, Fabian Schär looked knackered towards the end, and if anyone was going to get a winner, it was probably going to be Norwich in the last 10 minutes. But looking at Burnley's record there, then, and yeah, it's not that much different. Like, we've got 7 points on the board because of 7 draws. Burnley have also got 7 draws and only the 1 win. So we're not miles apart. They're 2 places ahead of us in the league. If we do get the win, and hopefully Norwich lose to Spurs at the weekend, then we go above them. We go into 18th, off the bottom of the foot of the table, which is just so, so important. Let's have a look at you guys. Evening, Aaron. Aaron hates to say it, but can't see us getting a win. It's a tough one, mate. Like, it's frustrating, but you can't really guarantee anything. Like, we should have beaten Norwich, and we didn't. We haven't beat anyone in how many games we've played now? 15 or something, I think it is. Like, it's just simply not good enough, man. Like, we need to start getting something on the board. So I can't say I blame you, not saying us getting a win. The Norwich game felt like yesterday. It felt like a loss. That's what I did, Jake. Hello, Callum. Good to see you as always. Hi, Pat. Another one. Hate to say it, but I think Lascelles will play over either Ferry or Shaw. I agree. I'll get to my lineup prediction in a second, of course. That's why y'all are here. But yeah, Lascelles is the captain and was spoke very highly of in Eddie Howe's press conference this morning. He said, who's that? Let's have a look. So on Jamal Lascelles, he says he's a hugely important player because he has physicality and pace. He has physicality and pace in our back line, and they're qualities we need. I really like Jamal, and I think he's got a lot more to come from him. I think we can take his game to new heights. I hope so. We've already started to see differences from various players, mainly Shelvey. Fernandez done really well the other day. Like, everyone's just really stepping up. Like Richie, Willock, Lewis, like everyone, Shaw, like they've all like stepped up under Eddie Howe. We've been playing really good football. Fraser, Sir Maximin, Wilson, everyone's been stepping up, apart from maybe that back line. Shaw's been doing okay. Fernandez was great in the 81 minutes that we've seen of him. So hopefully Lascelles is one who gets a bit of motivation out of this, a little bit of encouragement. Because I remember the 18 season, the 2018, before the World Cup, we were saying with kind of half-heartedly that Lascelles and Shelvey deserved England calls up for the World Cup because they were amazing. But since then, both of them have just gone so far downhill that they probably barely deserve a starting place. Shelvey has played really, really well since Eddie Howe's came in. Lascelles, not so much. Hasn't really been great. Obviously, sat out against Norwich on Tuesday. So he's back available now, and he also addressed Federico Fernandez in the same breath in saying, I thought he was outstanding. A model professional who prepared well, trained well, and was ready for his moment when it came. I really love him as a person, and he's going to be invaluable. His leadership qualities are there for all to see, which is fantastic to hear about Federico Fernandez, because he's been out for, is it 6 games in a row? I think it was 5 or 6 games, like completely omitted from the squad, not on the bench, just kind of get a game, kind of get off the bench, just wasn't even in the squads at all. I think that maybe it was a fitness issue, or maybe it's a personal issue with Graham Jones when he was interim. Not too sure what the situation was there. Obviously missed Eddie Howe's first 2 games, but came back into the squad. Everybody wanted to see him in the starting lineup on Tuesday. Didn't happen, but still played 81 minutes after coming on after Clark's red card, and it was fantastic. And it's great to hear about leadership qualities, because for me, Jamal Lascelles has only really been a solid starting 11 player since 2018, because he's got the captain's armband. We're so lack leaders. And something else that was amazing that I heard about, I think he was talking about Callum Wilson. He says, we've created a leadership group within the squad and allowed them to really influence the group. Like, that's amazing. Like, a leadership group. So there's not just Lascelles, there's not just Fernandez or Shelby or Richie, whoever might pick up the armband when Lascelles isn't there. Like, there's a group of them, like the experienced lads are stepping forward. And he says Callum's one of them guys. He's one of the ones that the players really respect. It was a pleasure to give him the it was a pleasure to give him the armband, and I thought he led the team really well. So he spoke about Wilson, he spoke about Fernandez having leadership qualities. Like, that's music to everyone's ears. And the fact that he thinks Lascelles has all the qualities that we need, and they're going to see a lot more from him. Fernandez is invaluable and great leadership qualities. Like, it's just absolutely great to hear that he's got a bit of faith and believes that people are going to do better. That's what we need. Like, I'm hoping that he's right, and I'm hoping that they step up. Obviously, with the January transfer window coming up, I think defense is crucial. Whatever money we get, I think needs to be slapped on that back line. Hopefully, a couple of loans as well. Like any of the attacking players that have been linked with, like the likes of Jesse Lingard, Divock Origi, anyone like that. Maybe it's loan deals. If there's a budget to spend, whack it on defenders. Get the likes of, I don't know, like Tarkowski, who we're going to play tomorrow. Nathan Ake, who's familiar with Eddie Howe. There's been the likes of maybe Phil Jones, but you probably don't want him. Eric Bailly. Who else we're being linked with? Connor Cody. Whack the budget at them. Whack a budget on the centre backs, wing backs, full backs as well. Kieran Trippier has been one heavily linked. Get the money into the defence and buy attackers in the summer. Just get them in on loan. Put the checkbook to the defence, because I do think Lascelles is going to start. We'll see what I'm going to say with the lineup prediction anyway, so we'll get to that. Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're well. Got to win this, absolutely. Kieran Clark should be set in the Siberian League too. I met and got a photo with Joe Willock today, chatted him to about 15 minutes. That's cool. Where was that? Let me know a bit about your meet with Joe Willock. We seen him after the game. It was the last home game of last season when fans were allowed back for the first time. I think 10,000 fans, I think it was, against Sheffield United. He scored the winner in that game, I believe. We seen him driving out afterwards, signing autographs for disabled kids and stuff. Stopped his G-Wagon, pulled up, gave a shirt to the kids, pictures with everyone. Seemed like a sound lad. There was something about that game before Clark was sent off. Yeah, that something was Kieran Clark started. Shouldn't have. Thankfully, he got his comeuppance. Best thing he done is that he's now suspended. Hopefully for 3 games, I think it is. Can't remember the penalty, but hopefully three games. Another ASM masterclass, hopefully. Yeah, he's got a good record against Burnley. Done really, really well with them in the past. Scored away last year. And did he score at home as well? I think he did. 3-1 win. Home and away he scored last season. Got an assist at home as well. So a good record for Sir Maximin against Burnley. Hopefully he keeps that up. Pope's good, yeah. I thought it's a Goddo. I was like, what's Goddo? But I see what you've done there. Nick Pope, I completely forgot about him. Completely went missing last season, really, didn't he? Is he still there? Let's have a little look at Burnley squad. Yeah, Nick Pope. Damn, forgot about him. Yeah, he's meant to be like one like the highest sought after goalkeepers last year, Nick Pope, but completely disappeared. Do you think Joelinton is finding good form? Yes, I do. If you've been watching us for a long time, you'll know I've been backing Joelinton. Like, I am a fan. I think he's a cracking player. Obviously, the first season was a write-off. I think the club were at fault more than what he is, because we all know he's not a striker. Sometimes in front of goal, he still can't find his shooting boots, unfortunately. But the effort and work rate and everything, he's been putting it in for over a year, I think. But people are still kind of caught up on the goals, like what he's like in front of goal. Like, people's been turning a blind eye to what he does off the ball because they still think he's shite. Like, they've still got that thing in their head that from his debut season, where he was a complete flop, let's be honest. £40 million, number 9 shirt, I think 2-3 goals. Didn't look like a footballer for the most of it, but I think even from the back end of last season, like the second half of last season, I've seen a big difference in him. I've seen the work rate in him. But I think taking the number 9 shirt off him, last season with Callum Wilson coming in, obviously he wore the number 13 shirt. I think that took the pressure off him actually having a goal scorer in the squad. But this season, again, even more so, hasn't got the pressure of being the lone striker, being relied on to score goals, hasn't got the Alan Shearer famous number 9 shirt. There's other big players, around him. We've spent big money on like Callum Wilson coming in. We've got Ryan Fraser, Sir Maximin. The pressure's off, and I think he's relishing, especially now under Eddie Howe more than he was under Steve Bruce. Like, I think he's been allowed the freedom. So Howe spoke highly of him in his presser as well. He says we really, really like him. I think he's got a good mix of physicality and technical ability. You saw some superb footwork to get out of some difficult areas. His work rate has been a real feature, and he's given everything for the team. He's got a real selfless mindset. So I've been really pleased with him. I think we can continue to improve, and he's going to be a huge player for us. On Tuesday, he started as a 10 and then moved to a more midfield position because of the sending off to Kieran Clark. He can play a number of areas, and I wouldn't label him. Like, that is true. Like, for Hoffenheim, he never played as a lone striker like Steve Bruce played him in the first season, especially in a defensive formation. It was Julian Nagelsmann was his manager for Hoffenheim, one of the biggest managers in Europe at the minute at Bayern Munich. Like, he played him either up front with someone as a partner, as a number 10, or out on the left, which is where we're kind of used to seeing him now, or the right, to be fair. He mixes up. I think he plays more right at the minute, to be fair. So, yeah, he can play numerous positions just as long as he's not a lone striker. He's sound. And then he says he's got a very high technical level. He's got a great work ethic and a great physicality. I think he does have the ability to score goals, put that mix together, and I think you've got an outstanding individual who is only going to get better for us. Exactly. Once he finds shooting boots, once he get a bit of confidence in front of goals, starts adding some goals to his game, he's a really, really good player. Still think, obviously, everyone's kind of got the 40 million price tag in their heads and thinking that he's a flop because of that. If you get that out of your mind, like, if I say you got him for 15, if he was a 15, 16 million pound player, played the way he does, work ethic, physicality, everything Eddie Howe says, he got about 5 or 6 goals, 5 and 6 assists, you wouldn't be complaining in the slightest. Like, we didn't pay the money. Fuck the price tag. That's second nature. Like, start thinking of him how he is now. Like, I think he's turned everybody's heads. I ain't seen one negative comment. Like, the rounds have been going on social media saying needs the appreciation from our account at the Magpie channel, the Newcastle fan channel, the Newcastle official channel, like Gallagher shots. Everybody, every Newcastle fan channel, page, Twitter account has been bigging him up. And I look at the comments, I kind of look for the negativity, but I haven't seen one. So I'm buzzing for Joelinton, and he's in great form, needs a bit more. Jamal, man. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, so I think it is looking likely that Lascelles probably will be brought back into the game. And when you think about their big physical strikers, that's what Burnley's all about. Proper big shithouse football, just pump it up long to the big lads. There's Chris Wood, and I think they've still got Jay Rodriguez, haven't they? Who was it? Ashley Barnes, he's the other big fucker. He's out, so we're going to get into the squad availability in a minute, the ins and outs of both teams. But yeah, I think Jamal's physicality, as Eddie Howe says, going up against him probably would be a good shout. Need to start Brighton, have a good feeling we'll get 3 points. Yeah, I think the start of the game is important. Like I said, the Kieran Clark red card after 9 minutes kind of set the tone of the game. It didn't for the most part, but I think we felt this towards the last 10 minutes of the game. I think we were really overstretched. So I think if we start well, get a goal early, I think we're on the front foot. I think Burnley's got it all to play. Like, we scored early at home last season. I think it was the Samaxman goal. That was quite early. I think that was about 10 minutes in. I'm sure Burnley equalised in the second half, but then Samaxman and Wilson ended up running riot with a 3-1 win. So, yeah, need an early game. Lewis has to play instead of Richie. That's obviously going to be another big topic of conversation, so we'll come to that. One game left to win. Good luck, mate. Good luck. All the best. Lewis was great, I thought. Yeah, so like I say, that's going to be another big theme that we're going to get onto. If Joelinton keeps his form, he might end up being... Maybe, yeah, like I say, if he starts adding goals to his games, and we're not expecting 20, we're barely expecting 10. If he gets 6 goals and 6 assists a season, playing the way that he does, I think that's a good return. Like, for the position that he plays, like deeper, like kind of like a hold-up player, number 10, winger, whatever he is, I think that's a really good return. So, yeah, keep the form up, start adding a couple more goals to his game, no problems at all. We need to slowly build our team up to attract bigger players, absolutely. Hopefully that's what the owners are going to try and do. Let's have a look. Fed and Shaw are by far our best 2 centre-backs. Yeah, probably so. I would agree with that. Thank you very much, Toby. Appreciate it. We certainly will keep up the great work best we can. Yeah, if we get a loan like for Lingard, I think he's out of contract at the end of the season, so hopefully we can kind of maybe get him on loan and have like a pre-deal agreement or something, like we've been like Van de Beek, people like that. So yeah, I agree with that. Like, hopefully, because even if we do get relegated, if we've got the likes of Jesse Lingard in the Championship, we'll absolutely rip shit up. Shaw needs to be starting. How are we going to get rid of players? By telling them to fuck off, right? My philosophy is, I put it on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, I think we need about 5 players. If we get like Origi and Lingard, 2 centre-backs like Tarkowski and Ake and Trippier. For example, put it like that. Ake, Tarkowski, Trippier, Origi, Lingard. 5 players, get them in, changes things around massively. But we need to get rid of players, of course, before we buy. We've got 4 goalkeepers in the squad right now. Why? Steve Bruce, that's fucking why. Obviously, Dubravka was out, didn't have anybody else. Nobody wanted to sign forward, so we had to put 4 goalkeepers in. Get one of them out. Pick who you like. I'm not asked. Even if it's a loan deal for Woodman, get him out on loan to a Championship team. If you want to sell Darlow and make Woodman number 2, fine. I'd probably keep Gillespie because he's a cheap and decent third option. We've also got Dan Langley, who's under 23, so isn't part of the first team squad anyway. So, yeah, between Gillespie, Woodman, and Darlow, get one of them out, whether it's a sale or a loan, who cares? 4 left, Jeff Hendrick. Simple as that. Kieran Clark, simple as that. Dwight Gale, okay for squad rotation. If we do end up in the Championship, then I wouldn't mind them. So if we'll loan him to a Championship team, just get him off the books for the remainder of the season for potentially an Origi type. Yeah, fine. Get him out on loan, bring him back next season, and he can pick up his role as a backup in the Championship where we know he'll smash it. So, yeah, get Gale out. Who else you could look at? Maybe he's Kraft or another one of the centre-backs, maybe. Maybe it's another loan deal for someone else. Who else is there in midfield? Who else am I thinking of? So, yes, we'll say Kraft, Shaw, not Shaw, Kraft, Clark, Hendrick, Gale, and a goalkeeper. 5 in, 5 out. There you go. Simple as that. He played midfield against Norwich for half the game. Yes, he did. Hello, David. Good to see you, mate. How's it going? 3 points tomorrow, 2-1. Joey with a winner. Get a bet on that. I would love to see that. If it didn't take too long to put that on Sky Bet, I'd get that up and see what the odds are right now. Sounds good to me. Wouldn't mind seeing Joelinton on the midfield as he was classed there. Yeah, he was playing like centre mid, wasn't he? But that's why he's good, like further deep, not up front, because he is strong and he is physical. Like, I was thinking, he's like centre mid. We're like Shelvey in the middle, and it was a Willock before getting taken off for Hayden on the left. Like later on in the game, I was like, wow, it's kind of mad this. Like, but he smashed it because he is strong at the back, getting forward. Isn't the paciest of lads. I think if he had a bit of pace about his game, then he would be a bit more threatening out wide as well. But the physicality and the strength and the hold up, the build up, everything, like, it's class, man. Do you agree with all the Miggy hate? I didn't realize he was getting hate, to be honest. But since you're asking us, I'll give you my opinion on Miggy. He's just a bit inconsistent. I've said it for the last 2 years. Like, when he's in form, he's really, really good. He can score goals and he can assist. And when he's in form, it's hard to get him out of it. But when he's in a rut, he's also hard to get out of that. And his form is poor for a long, long time. And when we've got Joelinton in good form, Fraser's performances have been picking up as well. And Sir Maximin, Wilson, it's just hard for him to get into the team at the minute. I know Callum Wilson's only 1 yellow card away from a suspension. So if he picks that up against Norwich, against Burnley, sorry, then the next game he's going to be suspended. So my philosophy is play maybe as Joey as like a central figure with Almiron, Sir Maximin, and Fraser around him. Then we've got a few more bodies there, a bit more attacking nous about with. So Miggy's good in the number 10. I don't really like seeing him out wide. I think he gets scared. I think he needs to beef himself up a little bit. He seems to like drift out wide when he's running centrally. So he needs a bit more strength and a bit more confidence about him. And just consistency. That's his only thing. But like I say, when he's in good form, he's absolutely class. He's got loads of pace, great energy. And I think he's really underrated at tracking back. Like, people tend to forget that he does that really, really well. Like, he can track back, stick in tackles, and win back possession. He's really good at that. So, yeah, I like Miggy, but he just needs a bit of form. Joey's better than Longstaff. Thoughts on the Cardi rumours? No. Summer, maybe, hopefully. And Gale leaving in January, just mentioned that. Yes, very good business, whether it's loan or permanent. Not really asked. If we could get a Cardi in, then mint, but I hold my hopes up for that. Callum doesn't want to see Lascelles start again. I think Fernandes and Shaw are Eddie's best centre-back pairing. I'd also keep Jamal Lewis at left-back and bring on Richie and play him as a right winger where he should. Very good point. Agree with all of them points. But Lewis is going to have a job with Maxwell tomorrow. Yes, Mr. Cornet, Ice Cream Cornet. Don't know if you pronounce it Cornet or whatever you call him, but he's having a good season. 5 goals. He's their leading goal scorer. Same amount as Callum Wilson. So both tied. Top goal scorers going to tomorrow's game with 5 each. So that will be interesting. If you don't win this game, Newcastle relegated, and it's a fact. Yep, I would agree. We may join, but less likely at the minute. Who are you a fan of? Is that Watford in there? Let's see. I think that's a Watford picture. Oh, yeah. See better on the right-hand side. Yeah, Watford. Yeah. Chris Wood scares the shit out of me as he puts himself about when playing us, so we need the defense to be on it. Yeah, 100%. It's going to be hard anyway. I think the January transfer window is going to be a bit. If we lose tomorrow, even a draw, it's not really good enough, but January is just going to be major. Whatever our business would do, ins and outs, it's going to kind of determine we're really. I think we can pick up the odd few points here and there against other teams. I think we are a very good team. We're just not showing it at the minute. I think confidence is a bit down due to the Bruce and Ashley era. Like, we started the season in bad stead. Callum Wilson came up before and said the first game of the season, they weren't prepared, they weren't fit. Is anyone shocked? No one's surprised. Wonder why we're fucking bottom of the league without a win. Then fucking Steve Bruce, man, pisses me off. Don't tag with Steve Bruce. It's Friday night. I'm trying to enjoy myself. All right, so going to come back to you a lot in a minute. Going to get into a bit more of my information here then. So for Burnley, going to start there, and James Tarkowski and Ashley Westwood are both available for selection after missing their last game with a suspension, just the same as what we have with Richie and Lascelles. Phil Bardsley, the ex-Mackham, who loves winding up Newcastle fans. Fucking hate Phil Bardsley. He may return. He has been out and is tipped to maybe make a return. But the big boy, Ashley Barnes, as I mentioned before, remains out due to injury. and Dale Stevens is recovering from COVID. So that's their injury list. They are unbeaten in the last 5 games, Burnley, which is a bit mad to think that they're still on the bottom, but 3 of those have been draws. Let's get that up. So they have drew in their last 5 games to Wolves, Crystal Palace 3-3, entertaining game. That was a very good draw against Chelsea, 1-1, 2-2 with Southampton, and a very good win, 3-1 against Brentford. So that's not a bad run-in, to be fair. Like Southampton, Brentford, Chelsea, Palace, and Wolves, no losses against any of them. So it is quite surprising that Burnley are still in the bottom 3 with that kind of run. But 4 draws there. They've drawn 7 in total, and that 1 win against Brentford is their only win of the season. So it's not that great. It's not too much better than what our record is. We drew 2-2 against Southampton as well. We drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace. Did we draw 1-1 with Wolves as well? No, we got beat off Wolves, I think, didn't we? It was 2-1 against Wolves. So, yeah, that's our record against them. And in recent years, we've done all right. Burnley's never beaten us at St James's Park. We have got a very good record against them in the Premier League. They've beaten us twice, both at home. Is that right? Yeah, both at Turf Moor. They've beat us in the Premier League. At St James's Park, we've won 2 out of 4. Is that right? Total wins? Yeah, no, so that's right, yeah. Played 10, drawn 4. I can't do the math there. It's been a long day. Anyway, so for Newcastle, as we've mentioned, Lascelles and Matt Ritchie are back from suspension, but Kieran Clark is added to that suspension list. And Paul Dummett remains out from now until eternity. And that's it. Everyone else is basically back. But Eddie Howe did say, injury-wise, we've got a few bumps and bruises, but hopefully nothing too serious. Hopefully the squad comes through. Hopefully the squad come through Tuesday unscathed. And we've also got the 2 lads, Ritchie and Lascelles, back from suspension. So he didn't get too far into that. A few bumps and bruises, but hopefully nothing's too serious, which is a bit dodgy to me. Hopefully nothing is too serious. That is true. Didn't mention any names, who has the bumps and bruises, so we'll just keep an eye on that. Hopefully no one's got any injuries or any more suspensions or anything to come. So that's it for Newcastle. I'm going to quickly bash through the rest of your comments before I get into my prediction. Loan to buy is the best option in January. Yeah, probably true. I think we need another midfielder in January, like a Ward-Prowse. That would be a very good signing. Probably won't happen this season, but those are the kind of players we need in midfield. Yeah, absolutely agree with that one, Aaron. How about Dele Alli? Yeah, I would take Dele Alli. Maybe he's a loan. I'm not too sure about permanent just yet. Need to say about his attitude and stuff because apparently it stinks. Miggy should start with Maxi. Fraser wouldn't be in my start along with Ritchie. I think Milito from Real Madrid. Oh, that's a little bit too much. Like, is that not who City are after? Or is it Chelsea, I think? I think Chelsea's after him, so there's no chance he's going to come to us. I love Emmanuel Dennis. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, that'll be a good matchup. Can Matty Longstaff be recalled in January? I have heard them rumours. Yes, he can. He can recall a lone player at any time, really. His all-action style wouldn't hurt our midfield. Yeah, I think that would be a good signing. So, well, not a signing, like a good deal bringing him back. Because, as someone mentioned before, we probably do need another centre midfielder. Like James Ward-Prowse, that would be good. But people forget Matty Longstaff is a very good player, very energetic, and I think Eddie Howe would like him. He has, supposedly, from what I've read in the press this week, that is an option. Eddie Howe does like him, and he is considering recalling him in January. So that is something to keep an eye on. I think that would be interesting. This is Callum's prediction. Dubravka, Manquillo, Federico Fernandez, Shaw, and Lewis. Shelby, Willock, Fraser, Joelinton, Sir Maximin, and Wilson. Yeah, not too dissimilar to mine. Yeah, I would agree with that. Darren says Cody, Tarkowski, Van der Beek, and Dembele. Again, I think that's going to be a bit too much for us. Dembele would be great signs for us if we can pick a few wins before January. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. Newcastle fan Dubravka, Lewis, Fernandez, Shaw, Manquillo, Saint-Maximin, Shelvey, Willock, Fraser. I think that's pretty much the same as what Callum's was, yeah. Burnley defense is good, but Maxi always turns it on against Ethan. Yeah, that's true. We have no chance if Lascelles has to mark on. Well, yeah, we'll see about that one. 4-3-3 for Darren. Shelvey, Hayden and Willock in midfield. Maxi, Joelinton and Wilson up front. That's a good formation. I like it. And also fancies Joey to be the first scorer in a 3-0 win. Right, so that is it for the comments for now. Going to come back to them in a bit. Just going to run through my predicted lineup. Starting with obviously Dubravka in goal. I think that's a given. Very good performances since coming back from his injury. Picked up some brilliant saves in the Arsenal game and in our game against Norwich. So we're going to skip straight on from Dubravka. No one really cares. We know that's going to be the case. Not going to be Caldalo. So the back line, this is mine. My prediction, and I agree with what I've read in the comments before about Fernandez and Lewis coming in. I really, really would like that, but I don't think that it will be. I think Manquillo keeps his place, and I think Shaw should keep his place as well. It's like a 2 out of the 3 between Shaw, Fernandez, and Lascelles will start. And I think it has been tipped that Lascelles will come back. He is the captain, as Eddie Howe mentioned, and he is an important player for us. And as other people mentioned, I think him going up against Wood would be a good matchup. So do you partner him with Shaw or do you partner him with Fernandez? I would love to say Fernandez. I think Shaw's been okay. I think he was very fatigued towards the end of the Norwich game. Obviously overstretched, playing almost the full 90 minutes with a man less. Big mistake that almost led to a goal towards the end of it for Fabian Shaw, but I will put that down to fatigue. Yeah, so that's where I keep him. I think Shaw's a bit more match fit than Fernandez. I think Fernandez has been out for 5 or 6 games consecutively without even being on the bench, whereas Shaw's been playing a bit more. He's been playing the last few games in a row, so I just think for match sharpness, I think it makes sense to go with Shaw and Lascelles, even though I might not necessarily like it. But it's a tough one. Yeah, I think it is a really tough one. 2 places, as long as we're going to play with a flat back 4. Lascelles is probably definitely in there. And then it's a bit of a flip of the coin, really. So, yeah, that is going to be mine. And I do think Richie will come back. I would love to see Lewis. I think he done well the other day. Maybe could have done a little bit better on his chance, but I think the energy that he showed getting forward, always high up the field as well. I think Shaw and Shelvey were always looking onto that left-hand side for like a cross-field ball with him and Maximin down there. It was a very good option. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think with Richie, again, I can't remember the last time Lewis played before the other night. So for me, I just think Richie's much sharper. He's played every game this season that he's been available for. I think the only one that he missed was Tuesday against Norwich. So I just think he's more match sharp. I think obviously Eddie Howe knows his game a little bit more, knows how to get a little bit more out of Richie than he does Lewis. So that's my thinking behind it. But if Lewis starts and Fernandez both start, I will be over the moon. That is just my prediction, though. Midfield 2 of the same as what Eddie Howe's gone with since he started, which will be Shelvey and Willock. Would love to see Hayden back. I think Hayden is being missed in the midfield. It's good to see Willock there, though. Like, he is a bit more of an attacking option, whereas Hayden would be a bit more defensive, which I do think that we need. Shelvey's been doing all right since coming in under Eddie Howe defensively, to be fair, and getting a bit more confidence to take the ball in the middle of the field and play that quarterback role that he's known for. Just picking the ball up in a little bit of space, looking long, spraying a pass. He'd done that to perfection against Norwich. Like, they just weren't closing him down. There was a proper hole in the middle of the field. Shelvey had all the time in the world. Shaw had that option as well. So yeah, I would like to see Hayden come in just to help out the back line a little bit more if he needs that help, because he's better at that than what Shelvey and Willock are. But that's been the way Eddie Howe's been playing since he started with Shelvey and Willock. So I don't think he'll be upsetting that rhythm. And out wide, so pretty much the same middle four that we did to start the Norwich game with Fraser and Saint-Maximin. Obviously, Fraser was the one sacrificed after 9 minutes for Federico Fernandez to fill in that hole in defence that Kieran Clark left. And I think Fraser is in good form. Obviously, we can't really remember him even touching the ball really against Norwich, but the assist that he made for Maximin was at the Brentford game. It was outstanding. And obviously, again, knowing Eddie Howe knows him really, really well, knows how to get the best out of him. So I think he starts again. He's obviously legs should be fresh. Didn't really get much of a run out on Tuesday. And Maximin speaks for itself. Obviously, the main man got a really good record against Burnley. And yeah, hopefully, I would like to see him start more out wide and give the fullbacks a bit more of a run around and can obviously cut in when he needs to. He plays kind of up front a little bit with Wilson a little bit too much, which again I think was down to rotating the team a little bit after Clark's red card. So we had the back four of Manquillo, Shaw, Fernandez, and Lewis, and then it was Joelinton was playing a bit more of a central midfield role with Shelvey and Willock, and then Maximin and Wilson up top. So that was obviously a bit more rotated due to the red card. And then up front, we've got Big Joe in behind Callum Wilson, not directly up front. So this way we can revert to, like, we can play any kind of formation with this, though, which Eddie Howe does like to do, depending on how the game's going. So you could have Fraser drop back to more like a wing back position if Manquillo tucks in. So we could play like a flat back five. Well, not like a flat back five, but like a back five nonetheless when Burnley are on the attack. But we can play a 4-4-2 with Joelinton going up front with Wilson and Fraser and Maximin as the wingers. Or you could put Maximin up front with Joelinton on the right, Fraser on the left. You can switch that up. But it's the 4-2-3-1 that I really, really fancy since the start of last season, since we brought in Fraser and Wilson, along with Maximin and Wilson and Joelinton. I just think that would have been the best formation. And with Hayden is a bit more of a defensive option as well. This is just my favourite position, and this is where I think we get the most out of. So I'm not saying it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. I think it'll be more, I don't know, a 4-4-1-1. I think that's going to be more of the formation. So yeah, either one of them I'm happy with. 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1, whatever it is. Don't give a shit. Just that personnel I think is really good. The only ones that you can maybe argue is bringing Almiron in, maybe for Fraser, maybe Hayden for Willock, Lewis for Richie, and Fernandez for either one of Shaw or Lascelles. Let me know what you think. There's plenty of comments coming in. Probably everyone's slating me lineup, so kind of go and see what you have got to say. Almost back the way it was. Playing too far back. Got a prediction here, 2-1 to Burnley from a Newcastle fan. Not feeling so good about this one. It's a nervy one, not going to lie. It is going to be very, very nervy. But obviously we need that win, man. Got a 3-1 to Newcastle here. First win, stay positive. I like it. I like the positivity. And Almiron should play in the number 10 in a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, I agree with that. So how would you have that? Would you have Maximin on the left and Joey or Fraser on the right? Yeah, I'd agree with that. And we've got another one for Almiron. Should be given a chance to play behind Wilson. Yep, agreed. His pace would be a threat against teams like Burnley. Yeah, I agree. Never makes predictions on our scores. I'm shy at it, to be fair. I'm best not doing it as well. We could bring Fetty in and out Shaw in mid. I wouldn't put Shaw in midfield. There's no need. Like, he's not a natural central midfielder. He can play centre mid, and he is a decent DM. But when we've got Shelvey, Willock, Hayden, even Sean Longstaff, even Joelinton, Almiron, we don't need to play Shaw in midfield. So I disagree with that one, mate. I think Lascelles will be in to counter Cornet's pace. Yeah. Eddie alluded to Lascelles' pace in his press conference, and I think Lewis will stay. Only thing with Miggy is he's not the target man. Yeah. I agree with that one. Yeah, so Josh King and Callum Wilson worked really, really well together at Bournemouth. Miggy, maybe not that guy. Yeah, I agree with that one. On the bright side, we don't have to see Kieran Clark. Still forgotten about him, costing us the last game. Can't forget that, mate. Still can't forget about that one. Sunderland are smaller than Newcastle, obviously. Look at the leagues. Where are we? Where are they? Who cares? Joelinton, Almiron, Maxi, and Wilson as a front four. I like it. So would that be like a 4-2-3-1? Yeah. Hayden's passing is very inaccurate. 3-5-2 attack. Yeah, could do that. So that would mean, yeah, I think it's just a little bit more defensive, even though there's only three like centre backs. The wing backs get back, and I don't know. Like, it can work. I think Eddie Howe does play that role well, but I just don't really like saying. I just want to say 4-4-2 or something like old school stick to that 4-2-3-1, whatever it is. Lewis is far better at keeping his position and ensuring he kept an eye on his man at all times. Positioning at the start of last season was my biggest worry about Lewis. Like when he first signed and he started his first few games, he was always out of position. Like, yeah, he did have a good game against Norwich, but yeah, that's something that he needs to work on. Hopefully that Norwich game is the start of something good for him. But yeah, last season, his positioning royally pissed me and Renty off many, many times. 0-0 or 1-1. It is most likely to be a draw, to be fair. I think that probably is probably the bookies' favourites. It is kind of that kind of game. We've both drawn 7 games so far this season. Between we've amassed 14 draws and only 1 win this season. Obviously, that win being Burnley's. So, yeah, 7 draws for us, 7 draws for them. 14 in total. So, yeah, 4-2-4. Fraser got a cross and assist, yeah. Clark is looking to be playing with a Premier League club. Agreed. No Fetty. Yes, sorry, Neil, if you have just joined. Yeah, so it's in the conversation. Have a debate among everybody else having a look. Yeah, I agree that Fetty probably should start, but it is going to be a bit of a tough one with Shaw probably being a little bit more match fit. Lascelles probably is more match fit as well, and the captain. So it's hard to replace them too. I agree after his performance on Tuesday that Fernandez probably will be hard to replace as well, but we've got 3 options there. And for me, there's only space for 2. I don't want to say no 3 or 5 at the back. So someone's got to drop out. And I just feel like for match fitness, it will be Fetty. As a prediction, of course, personally, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm torn. Either one of them 3, someone's got to drop out. So whoever it is, I don't really care, to be honest. I think they're all in decent form. I still think it's insane to change what we proved to be such an organised back 4 for most of the 90 minutes the other night. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a good point. Almiron for Willock. If we change the formation, yeah, not as a direct centre on mids. Don't really like Almiron playing as a centre mid. Further up the field, yeah, a number 10, absolutely. But that's not really where Willock's been playing in the last few games, so don't particularly agree with that one. But if he came in another role, then I would agree. Richie in for Lewis, Fetty in for Lascelles, says Neil. Yeah. 2-0 for the Toon. Lascelles and Richie should be nowhere near the team. Well, yeah, you could agree with that one as well. Oh, you're getting too many comments in here. That's a formation there. So being on for nearly 45 minutes, yeah. So just going to pop in my bench prediction, which would be Carl Darlow, Emil Kraft, Federico Fernandez, Jamal Lewis, Isaac Hayden, Sean Longstaff, Jacob Murphy, Miggy Almiron, and Dwight Gale, which would keep out what's he called? Jeffrey, someone, Irish Jeff, hairy Irish Jeff, someone like that. So he's the only one out. I believe, let's have another look. Is there anyone else that I've missed out who isn't available? Obviously, Clark and Dummett are out. Fernandez. No one else missing as far as I can see yet. So it would just be Jeff Hendrick who's going to miss out, who isn't really a big miss. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Fernandez and Lewis. Maybe Hayden, but hasn't started for Eddie Howe yet. And we've got Almiron, who is an option who people have been calling for as well. So that is my prediction there then, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Get a score prediction in as well. It obviously has to be a win. There's no question about it. Whether it's 1-0 or 10-0, we need 3 points on the board. I think we can do it. Obviously, if no bugger gets sent off in the first 10 minutes, as long as we play 11 against 11, with everybody in form, if Wilson and Smaxman are on fire, unplayable, Joey, keep up doing what you're doing, mate. Shelby as well. Whoever the defenders are, whoever the left back is, it's a fight now. I think everybody's got to start fighting for not just their contracts come January, but I think there's a bit of competition for places as well. And I think Fernandez and Lewis have staked a very good claim for themselves, and they just need to keep fighting for it if they want to keep others out. So exciting times. Hopefully, we do get that first win. My head is probably saying a draw. I think that is the most likely outcome, but even a draw, I'm going to be disappointed with, unless circumstances change. If we'll get any red cards or injuries or whatever, then maybe a draw's borderline acceptable, but still got to be a win. So thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate you. 126 of you watching live at the moment. If you're watching this afterwards, don't forget to put your thoughts in the comments below. Score prediction and lineup prediction. Let me know your thoughts. We will be back tomorrow. Live watch along will be here with the post-match reaction and player ratings as well. So don't forget to tune in for that. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV. And don't forget, most importantly, to enjoy yourself.